Welcome to the Stoic Tide, where ancient wisdom meets modern struggle. This is not noise. This is not motivation that fades by morning. This is discipline forged quietly, built daily, and carried without announcement. What you are about to hear is not meant to impress others. It is meant to reshape you. Move slowly. Listen fully. Let the words do their work. Discipline does not announce itself with noise or demand attention from the world. It enters quietly like dawn before the sun breaks the horizon. Most people believe discipline is punishment, a harsh force meant to strip joy from life, but the Stoics knew better. Discipline is freedom wearing plain clothes. It is the power to choose your actions without being dragged by impulse, fear, or approval. When you begin to practice real discipline, something strange happens. People feel it before they see it. Your calm unsettles them. Your consistency confuses them. Your silence speaks louder than explanation. This is not arrogance. This is alignment. Marcus Aurelius once wrote, "Waste no more time arguing about what a good man should be. Be one." Discipline begins there, in private moments where no one is watching and nothing is rewarded. It starts when you decide that your inner order matters more than external comfort. The first Stoic rule is simple but demanding. Control what is yours and release what is not. Your effort is yours. Your choices are yours. Outcomes are not. When you accept this fully, discipline stops feeling heavy and starts feeling inevitable, like breathing. Most people live in reaction, pulled forward by desire and pushed backward by fear. They wake up already behind, chasing yesterday's mistakes and tomorrow's worries at the same time. Discipline interrupts this chaos by slowing the mind before it hardens into habit. The Stoics believed that mastery of self begins with mastery of attention. Epictetus taught, "If you want to improve, be content to be thought foolish and stupid." Discipline often looks unimpressive at first. Saying no when others indulge. Leaving early while others stay distracted. Repeating simple actions long after excitement fades. The second Stoic rule is restraint before reaction. You pause. You breathe. You choose. This pause is where strength lives. Not in force, not in dominance, but in delay. When you stop reacting immediately, you reclaim authorship of your life. Discipline is not built through heroic effort once in a while. It is built through small refusals repeated daily. Each refusal sharpens the mind. Each quiet choice strengthens the spine. Over time, you stop needing external pressure. The habit becomes internal. That is when discipline begins to scare people. There is a moment in every disciplined life when motivation dies. This is not failure. This is initiation. Motivation is emotional and temporary. Discipline is structural and lasting. The Stoics never trusted emotion as a guide, because emotion shifts with weather, praise, and fatigue. Seneca warned, "No man is free who is not master of himself." The third Stoic rule is obedience to principle over mood. You act because it is right, not because it feels good. On the days when nothing inspires you, discipline steps forward and carries the weight. This is where most people quit, because they mistake discomfort for danger. But discomfort is simply the sound of growth stretching old limits. Discipline trains you to endure that sound without panic. You begin to understand that boredom, repetition, and silence are not enemies. They are tools. While others chase novelty, you refine depth. While others seek validation, you sharpen competence. Slowly, without performance, you become reliable to yourself. That reliability becomes confidence. Not loud confidence, but the kind that does not ask permission to exist. People sense it and feel uneasy, because it cannot be manipulated or rushed. Discipline also changes how you speak, especially about yourself. You stop narrating your struggles and start resolving them. The Stoics valued action over explanation because words often become hiding places. Marcus Aurelius reminded himself, "Be tolerant with others and strict with yourself." This is the fourth Stoic rule. You do not demand perfection from the world, but you hold yourself accountable without cruelty. Discipline is not self-hatred. It is self-respect expressed through consistency. When you stop explaining your goals, you protect them from interference. Silence becomes a shield. Others may misunderstand you, but misunderstanding is lighter than regret. Discipline removes the need to convince anyone of your seriousness. Your routines speak for you. Your progress answers questions before they are asked. Over time, you realize that many conflicts disappear when you stop volunteering emotional reactions. You become harder to provoke, not because you suppress anger, but because you understand its cost. Discipline teaches emotional economy. You spend energy only where return is certain. This restraint feels unnatural at first, but soon it becomes peace. As discipline deepens, your relationship with time changes. You stop wasting it on fantasy and start investing it in effort. The Stoics viewed time as life itself, not a resource to be spent carelessly. Seneca wrote, "It is not that we have a short time to live, but that we waste much of it." The fifth Stoic rule is reverence for time. You plan your days with intention, not rigidity. Discipline does not mean filling every hour. It means choosing what deserves space. You learn to arrive early, prepare quietly, and leave without announcement. These habits accumulate power. While others rush, you move steadily. While others burn out, you endure. Discipline teaches you that consistency outperforms intensity. The calm repetition of correct action builds a foundation no crisis can easily shake. When challenges arrive, you are not surprised. You have already rehearsed effort in silence. That preparation creates a confidence that does not spike or collapse, it simply remains. Eventually, discipline reshapes your identity. You stop seeing yourself as someone trying to improve and start acting as someone who lives by standards. This shift is subtle but irreversible. The Stoics believed character is destiny, formed not by intentions, but by repeated behavior. Epictetus said, "First say to yourself what you would be, and then do what you have to do." This is the sixth Stoic rule. Become through action, not affirmation. Discipline eliminates the gap between who you admire and how you behave. You align your values with your schedule. This alignment feels lonely at times because it separates you from chaos that once felt familiar. But solitude in discipline is not emptiness. It is clarity. You begin to trust yourself deeply. That trust is rare, and rarity draws attention. People may not know why your presence feels heavy or calming, but they sense coherence. You are not scattered. You are not rushed. You are not performative. You are grounded. By the time discipline becomes visible to others, it has already been living inside you for a long time. That is why it unsettles them. It cannot be copied quickly or faked convincingly. It requires patience, humility, and endurance, qualities the modern world rarely rewards immediately. Yet the Stoics understood that true power grows slowly and lasts. Discipline is not about becoming feared. It is about becoming unmovable. When others realize they cannot distract you, rush you, or control your reactions, they adjust their behavior around you. This is quiet authority. It does not threaten. It simply stands. The final lesson of this beginning is simple. Discipline is not a performance for others. It is a promise you keep to yourself when no one is watching. Keep it long enough, and the world will feel the shift without you saying a word. Discipline deepens when no one is clapping for you. In the beginning, change feels exciting because it is visible. You wake earlier, work harder, speak less, and people notice. But soon the attention fades and only the routine remains. This is where discipline separates itself from performance. The Stoics warned against becoming dependent on recognition because praise weakens resolve. Epictetus said, "If you seek truth, be willing to be alone." Discipline matures in solitude. It grows when you keep promises that bring no applause. The fourth Stoic rule is consistency without witnesses. You show up because you decided to, not because someone expects you to. In this phase, temptation grows subtle. It whispers that you have done enough, that rest can turn into neglect, that discipline can wait one more day. But the disciplined mind understands that delay is how standards erode. You do not negotiate with your values. You honor them quietly, again and again, until they become part of who you are. As discipline strengthens, your relationship with time changes. You stop rushing. You stop panicking. You stop trying to control the future by exhausting the present. The Stoics treated time as a moral resource, not something to waste or fear. Seneca wrote, "It is not that we have a short time to live, but that we waste much of it." The fifth Stoic rule is respect for time through deliberate action. Discipline teaches you that every hour does not need to be filled, but every hour should be owned. You learn to work with focus and rest without guilt. You remove excess commitments that drain attention and protect the few practices that matter. This clarity unsettles others. People used to chaos find order threatening. When you are no longer rushed by urgency, you become difficult to pressure. When you are no longer desperate for outcomes, you become difficult to manipulate. Discipline gives you this quiet leverage. Not power over others, but sovereignty over yourself. Discipline also reshapes how you deal with discomfort. Most people avoid it instinctively, assuming pain means something is wrong. The Stoics trained themselves to meet discomfort calmly, even voluntarily, because it strengthened resilience. Cold, hunger, fatigue, silence, effort, all were teachers, not enemies. Marcus Aurelius advised, "Treat what you don't want to happen as training." The sixth Stoic rule is voluntary hardship. You choose difficulty before life forces it upon you. You wake when it is uncomfortable. You work when it is inconvenient. You hold your tongue when it would be easier to speak. Each act conditions the mind to remain steady under pressure. Over time, you stop fearing challenge because you recognize it as familiar territory. This is why disciplined people seem unshakable. They have rehearsed difficulty. When chaos arrives, they are already calm, already moving, already grounded. This calm is not emotional numbness. It is practiced stability. As your inner order grows, you begin to speak less about plans and more through results. The Stoics distrusted grand declarations because they often mask insecurity. Real discipline does not announce itself early. It waits, it builds, it delivers. Don't explain your philosophy, Epictetus said. Embody it. The seventh Stoic rule is silence over self-promotion. You stop explaining why you are changing. You stop defending your routines. You let your actions answer questions that words never could. This silence protects your energy and sharpens your focus. It also creates distance. Some people will misinterpret your quiet as arrogance or withdrawal. That is acceptable. Discipline requires the courage to be misunderstood. When you stop seeking approval, your decisions become cleaner. You choose what is right, not what is popular. This independence is rare, and rarity attracts both respect and resistance. Discipline eventually confronts your identity. Old versions of you begin to feel unfamiliar. Habits that once defined comfort start to feel limiting. The Stoics understood that clinging to outdated identities causes suffering. Seneca observed, "Begin at once to live and count each separate day as a separate life." The eighth Stoic rule is willingness to outgrow yourself. Discipline demands evolution. You release behaviors that no longer serve your principles, even if they once did. You forgive the past without romanticizing it. You do not need to destroy who you were, but you must stop living there. This transition can feel lonely because growth often creates distance before it creates alignment. But discipline teaches patience with this gap. You trust the process because you trust your standards. Slowly, a new identity forms, not through reinvention, but through refinement. With discipline comes emotional restraint, not suppression, but command. The Stoics did not aim to eliminate emotion, only to prevent emotion from ruling behavior. You have power over your mind, not outside events, Marcus Aurelius reminded himself. Realize this, and you will find strength. The ninth Stoic rule is emotional governance. You feel anger without obeying it. You feel fear without fleeing. You feel desire without surrendering. Discipline gives you this distance, a space between stimulus and response where choice lives. This space is invisible, but it is where freedom exists. Others may act faster, louder, or bolder, but you act deliberately. Over time, this composure becomes your signature. People notice that you do not overreact, do not chase, do not collapse under pressure. That steadiness builds trust, both in yourself and from others. Eventually, discipline stops feeling like effort and starts feeling like alignment. You are no longer forcing yourself forward. You are simply moving in the direction you have chosen. The final Stoic rule revealed in this chapter is fidelity to character. You act in accordance with who you have decided to be, regardless of circumstance. This is the core of Stoic discipline. Not control for control's sake, but harmony between values and actions. When discipline reaches this stage, it becomes quiet confidence. Not pride, not display, just certainty. You know what you will do because you know who you are. And that certainty, built without noise, without permission, without spectacle, is what truly unsettles the world around you. Discipline reaches a sharper edge when emotions lose authority over action. Most people believe feelings should guide decisions, yet the Stoics taught the opposite. Emotions are weather, not direction. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events." The seventh Stoic rule is emotional containment. You notice anger, fear, excitement, or doubt, but you do not obey them. Discipline trains you to act from principle, while emotions rise and fall without control. This is where many quit. They wait to feel motivated, calm, or confident before acting. The disciplined mind acts first and lets feelings catch up later. Over time, emotions follow behavior. Calm grows from order, not the other way around. When you stop explaining your moods and start governing them, your presence changes. You become steady. Others sense reliability in you. You no longer escalate conflict or chase reassurance. You do what must be done because it is right, not because it feels good. This inner order creates outer respect, even when nothing is said. Silence becomes easier, reactions soften, and discipline turns into a quiet strength that holds firm when pressure rises and outcomes remain uncertain. Without seeking permission from anyone else at all, discipline also demands control of speech. Words reveal alignment or weakness faster than actions. The Stoics valued restraint in language because speech multiplies consequences. Epictetus warned that careless words expose an untrained mind. The eighth Stoic rule is measured speech. You speak less, but with intention. You stop filling silence to soothe discomfort. You stop defending choices that already align with your values. Every explanation drains authority. When you reduce unnecessary words, your message sharpens. People listen more closely. Silence becomes a boundary. It prevents manipulation, gossip, and emotional leakage. Discipline in speech protects focus. It keeps energy directed toward work rather than noise. You answer slowly. You respond briefly. You let others reveal themselves through excess talking while you observe. This is not arrogance. It is discipline expressed through calm. Marcus Aurelius reminded himself to speak only what improves the moment. When speech serves purpose, it strengthens character. When it serves ego, it weakens resolve. By mastering language, you master perception. Others begin to project confidence onto you because you do not rush to fill space. This restraint creates influence without effort and authority without force over time, as habits settle deeply within your daily conduct and personal presence. Discipline strengthens further when you detach from outcomes. Most frustration comes from attachment to results you cannot fully control. The Stoics separated effort from outcome to preserve peace. Epictetus taught that your duty ends with right action. The ninth Stoic rule is outcome independence. You focus on process, not reward. You work without bargaining with the future. Success and failure become information, not identity. This shift removes fear. When outcomes no longer define you, effort becomes cleaner. You try fully without desperation. You accept results without collapse. Marcus Aurelius wrote that nature asks for effort, not applause. Discipline anchored in process survives disappointment. It also survives success. Pride dissolves because results are temporary. You return to work quickly, unaffected by praise or blame. This steadiness builds uncommon resilience. People notice your consistency and trust grows. You become reliable under pressure because you are not emotionally invested in every turn. Detachment does not mean indifference. It means clarity. You care deeply about doing right, not about being rewarded. This clarity frees attention and sharpens execution. It keeps the mind light, focused, and ready for repeated effort daily without emotional residue slowing future decisions or distorting judgment over time during demanding seasons. Discipline demands honest self-review without self-cruelty. Many avoid reflection because it exposes inconsistency. Others reflect harshly and weaken morale. The Stoics chose balanced evaluation. Seneca advised daily review without shame. The 10th Stoic rule is objective self-assessment. You examine actions, not identity. You ask what worked, what failed, and why. You remove drama from feedback. This keeps improvement steady. Discipline thrives on truth delivered calmly. When you judge yourself without anger, correction becomes easier. You stop defending mistakes and start fixing them. This habit builds maturity. Each day becomes a small experiment rather than a verdict on worth. Marcus Aurelius reflected nightly to reset his mind. You adopt the same practice. You review decisions, speech, effort, and restraint. Then you let the day go. Carrying yesterday into today weakens focus. Reflection ends with release. This cycle of review and renewal sharpens discipline continuously. You improve quietly without crisis or collapse. Over time, growth compounds. You become precise instead of emotional. This precision creates confidence rooted in evidence, not hope. It also builds trust with yourself through repeated honest evaluation that strengthens resolve during difficult moments and long stretches of effort and disciplined living without emotional fatigue accumulating. Discipline changes how others respond to you. Without seeking influence, you gain it. Calm consistency communicates strength more loudly than force. The Stoics never chased control over people. They mastered themselves. This mastery attracts respect naturally. When your actions align daily, trust forms around you. You become predictable in the best way. Others know where you stand. There is no performance, only principle. This stability unsettles those who rely on chaos. You are no longer reactive, so manipulation fails. You are no longer needy, so approval loses power. Marcus Aurelius warned against living for opinion. Discipline frees you from that trap. You act correctly, even when misunderstood. Over time, perception adjusts. People begin to listen differently. Your silence carries weight. Your words land cleanly. Influence emerges as a byproduct of self-command. You do not demand attention. It arrives on its own. Discipline removes desperation, and desperation is what repels respect. This shift is quiet, but permanent. Once established, it does not need reinforcement. It rests on habit, character, and time-tested internal standards that guide behavior regardless of changing circumstances or social pressure, without external validation or constant reassurance from unpredictable environments, and demanding people around you daily consistently. Discipline ultimately simplifies life. Complexity fades as priorities narrow. The Stoics sought simplicity to protect focus. When you know what matters, everything else becomes noise. You stop chasing every opportunity and choose a few worthy efforts. This restraint preserves energy. Seneca believed clarity was a form of wealth. Discipline creates this wealth internally. Your days become structured but not rigid. You follow principles, not impulses. Decision fatigue disappears because standards decide for you. You know when to work, rest, speak, or walk away. This certainty brings peace. External chaos loses influence. You are no longer pulled by urgency or comparison. Discipline becomes a filter that removes excess. What remains feels lighter and more intentional. Marcus Aurelius wrote that a life aligned with nature is sufficient. Discipline aligns you with reason and purpose. You are no longer scattered. You move forward calmly, even when progress feels slow. Simplicity keeps discipline sustainable. It turns effort into rhythm instead of struggle. This rhythm supports longevity, balance, and steady growth across years without burnout, resentment, or loss of inner direction during changings of work, rest, and responsibility that demand calm strength and clarity from disciplined individuals committed to principle over fleeting pleasure alone. Discipline that scares others is not loud, it is consistent. It is the quiet refusal to drift. The Stoics did not promise ease, only freedom from chaos. By living these rules daily, discipline stops feeling forced and starts feeling natural. You no longer need motivation. You rely on structure, values, and practice. This is how discipline becomes identity. It carries you when energy fades and circumstances shift. If this philosophy resonates, continue walking this path with us. The Stoic Tide exists to guide modern minds through ancient wisdom with clarity and strength. If this chapter added value, support the work by liking the video, sharing it with those who need it, and subscribing to the channel. Your support helps this message reach others seeking discipline, calm, and control in a noisy world. Stay steady, stay disciplined, and return for the next chapter as we continue building a life that is unshaken, deliberate, and quietly powerful through reasoned action, patience, and inner command cultivated daily. Thank you for being part of this disciplined journey forward. Your attention and commitment make this work meaningful and enduring until wisdom becomes lived experience across every ordinary and difficult day you choose discipline again daily. Discipline reaches its deepest test when comfort becomes available. Anyone can be disciplined when pressure is high or fear is present. Very few remain disciplined when life becomes easier. The Stoics warned that comfort dulls the mind faster than hardship. Marcus Aurelius wrote that luxury weakens character when vigilance fades. Discipline must therefore become internal, not situational. You do not wait for difficulty to sharpen yourself. You train precisely when conditions invite laziness. This chapter reveals how discipline becomes permanent through voluntary resistance. You choose effort even when rest is possible. You choose structure even when freedom tempts excess. This choice separates those who improve quietly from those who stagnate while appearing successful. Discipline is not a response to suffering. It is a standard maintained regardless of circumstance. When ease arrives, your habits remain firm. You wake on time without alarms of urgency. You work without external pressure. You maintain restraint even when no one is watching. This internal consistency builds a reputation that spreads silently. Others sense reliability because your behavior does not fluctuate with mood or comfort. Discipline becomes your default state, not a temporary strategy activated only during crisis. True discipline also requires mastery over desire. Desire itself is not the enemy. Unchecked desire is. The Stoics understood that craving pulls attention outward and weakens judgment. Epictetus taught that freedom begins when you no longer need more to feel complete. Discipline trains desire to obey reason. You enjoy what is present without hunger for excess. You stop chasing stimulation as proof of living. Instead, you find depth and simplicity. This discipline protects focus. When desire quiets, attention sharpens. You are no longer fragmented by wanting. You act with purpose rather than impulse. This restraint creates inner wealth. You feel satisfied without consumption. You appreciate without clinging. Marcus Aurelius reminded himself to receive what comes without attachment. Discipline here means knowing when enough is enough. You stop adding complications to life. You simplify routines, commitments, and expectations. This simplicity increases power. Energy once spent on craving becomes available for execution. Calm replaces restlessness. Desire becomes a tool rather than a master, serving long-term aims instead of immediate relief. Discipline strengthens further through solitude. The Stoics valued time alone, not as escape, but as calibration. Constant noise distorts judgment. Solitude restores alignment. Seneca advised withdrawing regularly to recover clarity. Discipline requires deliberate distance from distraction. You choose silence over stimulation. You reduce unnecessary interaction. This is not isolation, it is refinement. Solitude reveals mental habits clearly. Without external input, thoughts surface honestly. You notice weaknesses, assumptions, and impulses without interference. Discipline grows when you confront these patterns calmly. You train attention to remain steady without entertainment. This builds mental endurance. Many fear silence because it exposes disorder. The disciplined welcome it because it reveals what needs correction. Solitude becomes a training ground for focus. You strengthen the ability to remain present without craving distraction. Over time, this discipline transfers outward. In chaotic environments, you remain composed. Your mind no longer depends on constant input. You become self-contained. Others feel this stability immediately. Presence deepens. Words slow. Actions become deliberate. Solitude, practiced regularly, sharpens discipline into quiet authority. Discipline also requires alignment between thought and action. Inconsistency drains strength. The Stoics emphasized living philosophy, not discussing it. Marcus Aurelius warned against admiring virtue without practicing it. Discipline closes the gap between intention and behavior. You stop negotiating with yourself. Decisions are followed by action without delay. This reduces mental friction. Procrastination weakens confidence. Completion strengthens it. Each kept promise builds self-trust. Discipline becomes self-reinforcing. You no longer rely on motivation, you rely on commitment. This commitment simplifies choices. You know what you do and what you refuse. Boundaries become clear. When temptation arises, the answer is already decided. This saves energy. Discipline thrives on pre-commitment. You design routines that remove decision fatigue. You prepare environments that support focus. You eliminate options that weaken resolve. This structure frees attention for execution. Over time, action becomes automatic. You move without hesitation because identity aligns with behavior. You do not debate discipline, you embody it. Discipline matures when ego dissolves. Ego seeks recognition. Discipline seeks alignment. The Stoics warned that vanity corrupts effort. Seneca noted that pride invites instability. Discipline practiced for appearance collapses under pressure. Discipline practiced for integrity endures. You stop measuring yourself against others. Comparison distorts progress. You measure against your own standards instead. This internal reference stabilizes effort. You improve without announcing it. You work without display. Recognition becomes irrelevant. This protects discipline from dependency. When praise disappears, your habits remain. When criticism appears, your focus holds. Ego no longer negotiates effort. You are free from audience. This freedom deepens resolve. You act correctly even when unnoticed. This builds quiet confidence. Others may sense it, but cannot pinpoint its source. That mystery increases respect. Discipline becomes invisible, yet undeniable. You no longer explain yourself, your consistency speaks. Ego fades, leaving clarity, calm, and unwavering direction. Discipline ultimately transforms identity. What begins as effort becomes nature. The Stoics believed character is destiny. Repeated action shapes self-perception. When discipline is practiced daily, you no longer try to be disciplined. You simply are. Choices feel natural. Resistance feels unnecessary. This is not rigidity. It is alignment. You move with ease because habits support intention. Life becomes simpler. Decisions require less energy. Stress decreases because internal conflict fades. You trust yourself. This trust produces calm confidence. You walk slower. You listen more. You act decisively. Others feel grounded around you. Discipline stabilizes emotional climate. You no longer react dramatically. You respond proportionally. This steadiness influences environment subtly. Without asserting control, you provide it. Without demanding respect, you receive it. Discipline has completed its transformation. It no longer scares others because of intensity. It unsettles them because of consistency. Your presence reflects order. Your silence reflects strength. Your actions reflect mastery. Discipline has become who you are, and it will not leave you. Discipline matures when it stops seeking recognition. Early effort often wants applause. Later effort requires none. The Stoics warned against performing virtue for an audience. Epictetus said that improvement is quiet and often invisible. When discipline no longer needs to be seen, it becomes pure. You act correctly even when credit is absent. You maintain standards even when shortcuts are available. This inner honesty strengthens character faster than praise ever could. You stop measuring success by reaction and begin measuring it by integrity. Discipline becomes something you do for yourself, not something you display for others. This shift is subtle but powerful. It removes disappointment. When no one notices your effort, you remain steady. When praise arrives, it does not change your pace. You are no longer pulled by external validation. This independence creates emotional stability. Your self-worth stops fluctuating with feedback. Discipline becomes rooted in values rather than outcomes. You work because it is right, not because it is rewarded. This mindset builds endurance. Long paths become manageable because you are no longer rushing toward applause. You move forward quietly, steadily, and without distraction. Another layer of discipline is patience with progress. The Stoics believed that nature moves gradually, not instantly. Marcus Aurelius reminded himself that growth is often unseen while it is happening. Impatience weakens discipline because it demands results before foundations are set. Discipline accepts delay without frustration. You continue showing up even when improvement feels slow. You trust the process because you understand compounding. Small efforts repeated daily reshape identity. Discipline trains you to respect time. You stop rushing outcomes and focus on consistency. This patience protects morale. You do not abandon routines because progress is subtle. You recognize that strength develops beneath the surface long before it becomes visible. This perspective prevents burnout. You pace yourself. You rest strategically without quitting. Discipline becomes sustainable because it respects limits. You push without breaking. You recover without losing momentum. Over time, this patience produces resilience. Others quit when results lag. You continue because discipline has taught you to value effort itself. Progress eventually becomes undeniable, but by then, you no longer need proof. You already know who you are becoming. Discipline also expresses itself through restraint in speech. The Stoics valued measured words and thoughtful silence. Epictetus advised speaking only when necessary and truthfully. Discipline governs language because words shape reality. Careless speech creates conflict. Excessive explanation weakens authority. The disciplined person speaks with intention. You stop reacting verbally to every provocation. You pause before responding. This pause protects clarity. You choose words that align with purpose rather than emotion. Silence becomes a tool, not a weakness. You learn that not every thought deserves expression. A disciplined life also requires acceptance of discomfort without complaint. The Stoics trained themselves to endure inconvenience willingly. Seneca practiced voluntary hardship to remove fear of it. Discipline grows when you stop avoiding discomfort. You do not dramatize difficulty, you meet it calmly. This attitude strengthens resolve. When challenges arise, you are not surprised. You expected resistance, you trained for it. Discipline reframes discomfort as information rather than threat. Discipline ultimately reshapes identity. It is no longer something you practice. It is something you embody. The Stoics believed character is revealed through repeated action. What you do daily becomes who you are. Discipline, sustained over time, changes self-perception. You begin to trust yourself. Confidence grows quietly from kept commitments. You no longer promise what you will not do. You no longer doubt your follow-through. This self-trust is powerful. As discipline deepens, fear loses influence. Fear thrives on uncertainty and avoidance. Discipline confronts both. You face what you fear through structured action. Each step weakens fear's hold. The Stoics taught that fear often comes from false judgments about events. Discipline corrects these judgments through experience. You learn that discomfort is survivable. Failure is instructive. By this stage, discipline has become freedom. This is the Stoic paradox. Structure creates liberty. Restraint produces peace. Effort generates ease. You are no longer controlled by mood, opinion, or circumstance. You respond rather than react. You choose rather than drift. Discipline has given you authorship over your life. This freedom is not loud, it is stable. You wake with clarity. You move with intention. You rest without guilt. Discipline has aligned action with values so completely that inner conflict fades. You are no longer divided against yourself. This unity is strength. Discipline reaches its highest form when it becomes identity rather than effort. At this stage, you no longer ask yourself whether you will act with discipline. You already know the answer. The decision is built in. Marcus Aurelius wrote that a person should be so aligned with reason that right action feels natural. Discipline stops feeling heavy because it is no longer something you force. It is something you are. Your habits reflect your values without inner conflict. You wake, work, rest, and respond in alignment with principle. Temptation still exists, but it no longer dominates. You see clearly what matters and what does not. At this level, discipline also changes how you view success and failure. The Stoics taught that outcomes are not fully ours, but effort always is. Discipline trains you to judge yourself by intention and action, not by results. When success comes, you accept it calmly. When failure appears, you study it without self-hate. You do not collapse emotionally because your worth is not attached to outcomes. Another mark of mature discipline is compassion without weakness. Stoicism is often misunderstood as coldness, but it teaches empathy guided by reason. Discipline allows you to care deeply without losing control. You help without rescuing. You listen without absorbing others' chaos. You set boundaries without guilt. This balance is rare. Undisciplined empathy leads to burnout. Discipline also prepares you for solitude. The Stoics valued the ability to stand alone without fear. When discipline is strong, you do not need constant distraction. You are comfortable with silence. You can sit with your thoughts without escaping them. This inner strength is rare in a noisy world. Solitude becomes a place of renewal rather than discomfort. You reflect, refine, and reset. As discipline deepens, fear loses its grip. Fear feeds on uncertainty and lack of control. Discipline restores control over what matters most, your choices. You may not control events, but you control preparation. You control effort. You control attitude. In the end, discipline becomes a legacy you live daily. Not a speech, not a promise, a pattern. If this chapter resonated with you and helped strengthen your inner discipline, support the Stoic Tide by liking the video, sharing it with someone who needs clarity, and subscribing to the channel. Your support helps spread timeless Stoic wisdom to those ready to live with strength, calm, and purpose.